I don't know how to start off this review. Atlantis The Lost Empire is one of those films where Disney wanted to try something different instead of musicals, but it's also one of those movies from that time when Disney was in a really bad shape. Wanna know why? Somebody once told me the world is gonna roll me. Yes, I know Shrek came out that same year in 2001, but it's not just that movie with its comedic style and spoofing fairy tales. It's the use of computer animation that took over the industry at that time, leaving films like Atlantis, Fantasia 2000, and especially Treasure Planet completely burned to the ground. However, despite this movie becoming a box office flop, that doesn't mean it's a bad movie. Literally, when I first saw Atlantis The Lost Empire, I thought it was good, and that's what this review is gonna be about. I will say that the plot itself is good, but it still has a few flaws. The main issue is that it feels a little too fast-paced. I'm sure there are people who don't mind films going this quickly, but it doesn't give us time to relax and sink in everything that we've seen. I understand the filmmakers wanted to try something different and make this movie more action-packed and all that, but there's enough material to make this a 90-minute film. To sum it up, the story isn't that bad, but like I said, it tries too many things at once to be something really epic. Now let us move to the animation, because this is where it truly gets interesting. Considering they wanted to try something different with a Disney film, the animation shows that as well. Though I honestly don't get it when people say this kind of style makes the characters look more flat than in other Disney films. It clearly doesn't, and again, the style itself does look good. But the one thing that's really great here is the character animation, done in such a way where their movements look more believable and realistic.
Thus enabling the kidnap and or murder of the royal family. Not to mention personally delivering the most powerful force known to man in the hands of a mercenary nutcase who's probably gonna sell it to the Kaiser!
But animating the cast is one thing. Animating Atlantis in this epic world is something where people stop in surprise. And this is where the movie truly shines. That brings us back to the action scenes, and this is also something where the fast pacing actually works, which makes this film a great and fantastic ride, with fighting, explosions, weapons and dynamite. Something we didn't really see from a previous Disney classic. Speaking of the action scenes, the film also uses CG in some scenes, and normally it looks kind of off when mixing 3D animation and 2D hand-drawn animation, but here it surprisingly works and they mash up together perfectly. Okay, animation here? Great! Some of the best I've ever seen. Enough said. But then there's the characters. Well, some of them are likable, Milo and Kida in particular. The rest on the other hand are there for either the one job they serve, where Sweet is the doctor and Vinny the explosion expert, or they are there for the comedy.
It's an honor to be included in your...
Look here what I got. All 38 in the United States. Watch me make Rhode Island dance. Go on, baby, dance. Dance. There you go.
A film like this would be better off if they didn't include these kinds of jokes. But then you have the villain of the film. Honestly, I did not enjoy him in this film whatsoever. He is just your typical bad guy who wants to steal the crystal of Atlantis in order to become rich. Haven't we had this kind of villain before? So yeah, character development and character depth is pretty weak here, even more so than the story itself. Overall, Atlantis The Lost Empire deserves more attention than it currently has. Sure, it did gain a cult following after its release, but it's definitely a movie to check out if you want to see a Disney classic that's not a musical and more action-packed. It may have its flaws, but it's still a fun ride with some entertaining moments, likable characters, and some of the absolute best animation you've ever seen in a while. As for my ratings, I would probably give it a 7 out of 10. Not a bad film, but could use some tweaks here and there. See you later, dudes!